Leo, are you out here?
I thought you were out of bed.
I thought you had, Leo.
Couldn't you sleep?
No. My room is cold and damp. Only this hateful fog seems to be at home there.
I told you this island was no place for you.
My mother lived here.
And died here. Violently.
She lived here for your sake.
Gail, I don't blame you for resenting me. I hadn't realized that the name Leo Granger was still headline news. I never imagined that the press would revive the whole dirty mess again. It did. I shall have to remain isolated here for a long while. But that's no reason for you to stay buried on this forsaken island.
Leo, I don't hold you accountable for the position I find myself in. It's just that, for the present at least, I too would like to avoid the public. In fact, for a while, I'd like not to see anybody.
I'm afraid that won't be possible, Gail. If you insist on remaining here.
Why?
There are a few people I must see. Some, shall we say, associates.
You're going to let them come out here?
I'm going to invite them out here.
Surely you don't think they'd accept your invitation. Well, they'd be afraid to.
I have an idea that their greed will outweigh that fear.
Their greed?
Yes. It was their greed that made them invest heavily with me, because they thought I could make more money for them than anyone else. Then when my financial empire crashed, they were the first to cry swindler. Now, if I can intimate to them that they will have a chance of sharing in that supposed loot, they'll respond to my invitation.
that?
I'm just knocking on my pipe, dear.
No, I meant that noise outside.
Sounded like the branch of a tree. Wind must be coming up. I'll go and see. What is it, Doc?
I thought you might put me up, Leo.
What do you want it for this time?
Oh, merely petty larceny. I had to eat. I couldn't get a job after serving my term with you. The newspapers printed our pictures again. Everybody recognized.
It won't be convenient to keep you here too long. I've invited some of our friends over for the weekend.
That crowd that sent us up?
How did you know that?
You're more confidential as my cellmate than as my employer.
And you were less of a menace behind prison bars than you were in my accountant's cage.
I have the same score to settle with that crowd that you have. I could be of help to you.
You might. Let's talk it over. Go to the small door under this balcony. It's open. Wait for me there.
Won't be too long.
I said wait for me there.
I've been thinking. I believe I've discovered why you failed in business. You surrounded yourself with the wrong people.
I didn't surround myself with them. Sylvia Jordan did.
How could she? Blackmail?
Practically. As my secretary, she knew a lot about my private affairs, which gave her a certain amount of influence. Then when I married your mother instead of her, Sylvia became vitriolic. She sold me out to her friends, Richfield, Kavanaugh, a whole double-crossing gang that railroaded me. I wouldn't have cared if they'd stopped at that, but they didn't. One of them, maybe the whole group indirectly, was responsible for the death of your mother.
Leo, what are you saying?
Oh, the circumstances surrounding the murder of your mother was obviously prearranged. Isn't it logical, Gail, that this group, having put me safely away in prison, should come back here to learn from Karma the whereabouts of the fortune I was supposed to have sorted away? Failing, they struck her down fatally. And they ransacked the place until they were disturbed by the launch returning with the servants.
But if any of them did murder Mother, do you think they'd risk coming back out here?
Now, don't forget, they didn't get what they came after.
I tell you, they won't accept.
Well, let's wait and see.
Bronson, Psychic Research Laboratory. Alec Richfield. This is Emmeline. I was engrossed casting a horoscope. Otherwise, I would have known it was you wanting to contact me. You received an invitation? Wait a minute. Let me see. It's from Leo Granger, inviting you to a weekend at Fog Island. Just a minute. Furthermore, I can tell you the date. It's for the 16th. What? Well, of course my powers of divination haven't diminished.
What do you make of it, Emily?
Well, are you consulting me professionally as an astrologist or socially as a friend?
Well, I thought as a good friend of old standing.
In that case, I'd say Leo wanted something. Advice. As you may recall, he never went into any big ventures without first consulting me.
Yes. And you never advised him without first asking John Kavanaugh what to tell him.
Kavanaugh was very generous with me when I influenced Leo's transactions.
Yes. And your influence paid you well. However, I'm curious to know what you think Leo's up to.
Well, I, for one, am going out to Fog Island to find out. And you?
I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
Nevertheless, I'll probably see you out there amongst the others.
And just who would the others be?
Why, our own little crowd, of course. John Kavanaugh, Sylvia Jordan, and... Yes, that's right.
What has Leo Granger to say, John?
How do you know this is from Leo Granger?
This is private secretary for years. I might at least be expected to recognize his handwriting, don't you think?
Of course.
Have you read between the lines?
Read what?
That I might see justice done?
Well?
Does it occur to you that Leo may have found out how you played up to Karma while he was out of the way?
I didn't. I always liked Karma. There was no point in avoiding her just because he got into trouble.
And there was no point, I suppose, in your chartering that boat all by yourself just to call on her at Fog Island.
Who said I chartered a boat?
The man who owned it.
He also admitted taking a veiled woman out to the island, alone.
I never wear veils. Besides, why should I want to see Karma?
To get information.
That needn't exclude you in Leo's mind as one of Alec's henchmen.
How do you know that?
I know Leo Granger. I know the way his mind works. He's a very suspicious and vindictive man.
How about Kingsley? Emmeline Bronston? Yes, even you. Don't forget the damaging effect your testimony as his private secretary had on the case.
I'm not forgetting it. Nevertheless, I don't expect Leo ever to forgive me. Leo Granger will never forgive any one of us.
5 years in the penitentiary can do a lot to a man.
Not to Leo Granger.
You get one of these? The same?
Identically. And I dare say there's a half a dozen others floating around amongst our erstwhile associates.
Shall you go?
I think so.
You're not afraid?
Are you?
Well, not exactly afraid, but,
But what?
maybe intrigued. After all, he got away with quite a fortune. If he's going to pay off, I want to be there.
That's what I thought. And if you go, I'll go. And if we go, the others will go.
Will they?
There's safety in numbers.
knows their voices, I'd say about 4 or 5. I can't tell through this fog.
Good. So, Allison,
Yes, sir.
the guests are here. Will you look after the luggage?
Very well, sir.
Well, how are you, Leo?
Quite fit, John, and you?
Never better.
Well, Leo,
Now, Sylvia?
This is a curious place.
Yes, strangely enough, it was built by pirates. But you shouldn't have any difficulty in finding your way around, John.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again, Sylvia, after all this time.
thanks, Leo. You're looking well.
You know, penitentiaries aren't exactly a health resort. I wouldn't recommend them to my friends. There's a fire waiting.
Thank you.
Leo. If it's any consolation to you, your water sign predicts satisfaction for you here.
What about you, Emmeline?
Me? Oh, don't you know a seer is never any good for herself?
That's a climb.
Getting soft, Alec?
Oh, not so you do, is it, Leo? Of course, cigars may have cut my wind a bit, but I still smoke them when I want them.
Something I was forced to give up, cigars.
You got those that I sent you?
Yes, I got them, but they weren't my fancy. However, my cellmate enjoyed them and survived.
Lucky.
Hello, Mr. Granger. I'm Jeff Kingsley, son of Jefferson Kingsley, to whom you sent an invitation. Apparently you didn't know Dad died a month ago.
Oh, no, I didn't. I'm sorry.
You don't mind, of course, my coming out here to see justice done?
Of course not. Come in.
Thank you.
Do you know all the others?
I introduced myself to them on the launch on the way out. Yes, I know everyone, including your stepdaughter, although I don't know that she remembers me from college. Hello.
Hello?
It's been a long time.
Yes.
Surprised?
Somewhat.
Would you like me to explain?
I don't think that's necessary.
You're not very glad to see me, are you?
Should I be?
Maybe not. Would it bore you out any if I were to tell you I'm glad to see you?
Thank you.
I'm sure you're all wondering why I invited you here. So let's settle that question right now at the beginning. I invited you out here for, let me say, retribution. Now, retribution is an odd word. It can mean so many things. It could mean reward, the return of money you think I stole from you. It could mean giving you an opportunity of getting even with me, or with each other. It could mean revenge, seeking a life for a life. You see, you killed something very dear to me. It might have been friendship. It might have been my ideals. It might have been my wife. Perhaps you never knew it, but I happen to love Karma. She was more than just a wife to me. She was my ideal, my friend. Whichever one of you killed her will kill again and just as wantonly. So let me warn you, the innocent among you, to be wary of the murderer whenever he or she finds it necessary to strike again. And that, my dear friends, concludes the business of the evening. Now let's all be as sociable as we can. Oh, I omitted to mention that we have another house guest, Doc Lake. You all remember Doc Lake? I'm sure. My accountant who was sent up with me. Doc, our friends are having a little drink. Perhaps you'd care to join them.
Good evening. Since Leo puts it so delicately, I'd be delighted to have a drink. And renew old acquaintance.
Oh, by the way, I'm afraid I had to send the launch back to the mainland for some slight repairs. It'll be back in the morning, probably. In the meantime, I'm quite sure you'll find every convenience on this island, except, of course, the telephone. Dinner will be at 8:30. Many years ago, it was the custom of this household, when it was in the hands of pirates, to let a man eat his fill, then permit him to know his fate. I'm not so barbaric, of course. I'm merely following the old custom by giving each one of you a token favor, or clue, shall we say, to retribution.
Key?
Perhaps it's the key to your happiness, my dear. Oh, Kingsley, that is a superstition that the gift of a knife will cut friendship. I'm not superstitious, are you?
Not with this in my hand, I'm not.
I think I'll retire. I have been used to very early hours these last few years. Gail, I think our guests will enjoy a little music if you feel so disposed.
Anything special you would like?
No, anything you like. Preferably something favoring the woodwinds.
Why the woodwinds, Leo?
I don't know, dear. There's something very plaintive about the music of oboes, flutes, clarinets, and something very enticing.
Mind if I join you?
And if I did?
I'd join you anyway.
You tried that before.
And missed.
And this time?
I'm your guest, remember?
Not mine. Leo Granger's.
Telling me what this is all about.
What is all about?
This party or whatever it is.
Don't you know?
No.
Then why did you come?
I had my reasons.
I'm sure of that.
Good reasons.
From your point of view?
All of which means you're not going to tell me?
That's right.
Which also means you don't trust me?
Right.
Odd favors Leo gives.
Or do you understand yours?
Yours, Dr. Lake? I suspect Leo wants to keep track of you. Mine is really quite simple. Leo always said my pencils weren't practical. The eraser, of course, is one of Leo's little innuendos. I have a feeling Leo is not in his right mind. Have you felt that?
You understand, I hope, that I've never actually practiced the profession of medicine.
Nevertheless, that doesn't prevent you from hazarding a personal opinion.
Not necessarily. But as a student of the occult, perhaps you could hazard an opinion.
The sign, Pisces. Of course you know what his sign indicates. 2 fishes swimming in opposite direction and with Jupiter in the ascendant. I should not like to predict what would happen.
His health, never too sturdy, hasn't been aided by prolonged inactivity. I shouldn't like to hazard an opinion either.
You know, Doctor, I think you and I have something in common.
No? What's that, may I ask?
We've both been in Leo's confidence. I, from an astral point of view, have been in his spiritual confidence. And you, from a business point of view, have been in his financial confidence. So, possibly by pooling our information, we might work more or less together to our mutual advantage.
Clever of you to discern that. What's the matter?
In there. John, do you know of any way we can get off this island?
There isn't any way. I asked the butler. Why?
I'm afraid.
Of what?
I don't know. But this to Leo always suggested death.
What to Leo might this suggest?
What is it?
Multiplication tables, 2 times 2 and so on.
It might be one of Leo's subtle warnings, insinuating you're not to attempt any more juggling of figures to your own satisfaction. But I get a feeling it goes deeper than that. Tables, skulls. What did Alec get?
Oh, I didn't see. He stuffed it in his pocket too fast.
Alec knows something. I wonder what that key is to.
What key?
One Gail got.
Why don't you find out?
I will when I get a chance.
Watch out for young Kingsley. I don't trust him.
Suppose you watch out for young Kingsley.
I will.
I didn't know you played so well.
Didn't you?
You know, there was a time I thought I knew pretty much about you.
Did you?
Remember the long walks in the rain, horseback rides, tennis? The time you beat me 6-3. The funny things you used to like, your craving for red, chocolate sundaes, opals. They weren't your birthstones, were they? No, I thought not. They were always bringing you hard luck. Like the time we were going to the symphony together and you had on your new high-heeled red slippers. Your heel got caught in a grating. No, it's a shame I couldn't get those nails to stay in. We went down the aisle together. You don't know how much trouble I had getting those tickets right in the 3rd row just to show you off. Oh, I've still healed, by the way, but I don't suppose you have any use for it, would you?
I haven't any use for any heel.
No, I thought not. But will you ever forget our picnic down by the riverbank? With that great field of daisies behind us, the weeping willows? Remember how ecstatic you were about the weeping willows? You know, you haven't done what Leo asked you to.
You mean the woodwind?
Yes, have you forgotten?
No.
I see. You weren't going to let me in on it, were you?
In on what? Oh, that. No.
Why not?
Suppose you find out if you think it's important.
Gail, is anything important to you?
Yes, solitude.
Is for the look into the future. What do you say?
You want me to cast horoscopes?
Oh, no, nothing so individual. I meant something you would let us all in, like, a seance.
Oh, a seance. Well, if you're all in accord, why don't you gather round the desk?
Good. For you, Emily. Of course, Emily, you'll want the lights out.
It was better, of course.
I'll attend to that.
Burden on your soul. A heavy burden. So heavy it may submerge you. I don't know why it is, but I feel as if water was coming up over me. I feel the sensation of drowning.
Stop it, stop it. I don't want to hear any more.
Very well, then. Strange, but I can't seem to reach you. You seem to bar the way. No. Bars are in the way.
We'll skip me for the moment. And for yourself, what do you see?
Myself? It's very difficult to see for myself. But I feel about to be elevated.
Somebody turn on the light.
I will. Neat trick, that. Mind telling me how you did it?
It was no trick.
Where are you going?
I have an idea.
What about?
Gail's key.
Oh.
Seance over already, Emmeline?
Yes, Alec, I'm rather tired tonight.
Why did you turn in?
I think I will. I wonder if you'd get me a book, Alec. I'm tired but not sleepy. I thought perhaps you might pick out something from Leo's shelf over there.
Don't you think you better select your own reading material, Emmeline?
You have such a good mind.
Oh. Tut, tut.
Would you be looking for any book in particular, Alec?
For Emmeline? Something light, of course.
Oh, yes. How about this?
What is it?
Crime and Punishment.
Ideal.
Thank you, Alec.
Say, it's getting late. Time we were all turning in. How about it, John? Ready to call it a night? We are.
I might as well.
Ready, Emmeline?
Doing out here?
I might ask you the same question.
Catch cold in this fog.
The air's warm.
Mind telling me what you're running away from?
Am I running away?
Of course. First from all your friends by coming out to this desolate spot to live, and now from everyone inside.
What right have you to pry into my private affairs?
Maybe I like you.
You have a very peculiar way of showing it.
Well, I'm a very peculiar person.
Yes.
Maybe I like you more than you realize.
Really?
I realize you're just a little girl in a lot of trouble.
What trouble?
That I mean to find out.
Is that all you mean find out?
No, but that'll do for a starter.
And after that?
Gail, have I ever done anything to make you mistrust me?
You came out here with the others, didn't you?
Obviously.
Why?
To see you.
I don't believe you.
Gail, why don't you break down and be yourself? Why don't you let me help you?
There's only one way you can help me, and that is to leave me alone.
Now, look here, young lady. Don't try my patience too far. You might as well know once and for all I have no intention of leaving you alone.
Very well, then. I'll leave you alone.
I came in to borrow some cleansing cream.
Why, of course.
I'm not robbing you, am I?
No, I seldom use it.
Oh, but you should nightly, my dear.
Too much bother.
Nothing should be too much bother to protect your skin.
In this climate, one doesn't need to take the trouble.
But if you don't take the trouble to preserve your skin now while it's healthy, you'll regret it.
I'll chance that.
Already it shows the signs of neglect.
Ma? What an interesting room.
Your mother didn't decorate it. These things were here when Leo bought the place.
Leo bought it. I thought Karma bought it for him.
Leo bought it in car.
important?
Yes, sir. Just tidying up a bit, sir. As a butler? Or as an escaped lifer, Al Jenks? That's a lie. What, that you're an escaped lifer? I acted a bit phony as a butler when Granger wasn't around. I made some pretty wise contacts in the big house. Contacts that could find out a lot of things. I wrote a few letters. I had some answers, came over with the mail for the guests tonight. Like this one. Hello, Doc's cooking. The eel you described with the scar across his left palm. Recently, Al Jenks, the lifer who crashed out of here about a month ago. I thought you ought to know because...
Enjoying yourself, Doc?
Yes. I was just looking for you, Leo.
Indeed.
The guests seem a bit ill at ease.
That's a pity. I've given them the run of the house. What more could they have me do?
Give them enough rope, eh, Leo?
Something like that.
They're all wondering what you've got up your sleeve.
Including you, Doc.
Have you forgotten, Leo? I know what you've got in mind for them. Have you forgotten that time in Stir when I showed you how they framed the two of us and you blew your top? And that day when you learned your wife had been murdered. The day you really went stir crazy. Have you forgotten what you said to me that day?
Under the circumstances, no one could hold me accountable for what I said.
Couldn't they? And especially if what you said came to pass.
What did I say, Doc?
Plenty. And if it took your last dollar.
That's just exactly what it did.
What, take your last dollar? Oh, that's a good one.
That's a fact. However, if you prefer to believe others do that I have a fortune buried here, I can't prevent you. But you said you were looking for me. What for?
I thought you might like to know what your guests are doing.
I know pretty well what they're doing.
After all, there was nothing I could ever tell Karma that was encouraging. All I saw for her was trouble and worry and her tragic end.
You saw that?
Oh, yes, quite clearly and in detail. I saw her choking her into insensibility.
That's a lie.
It is? How do you know?
She wasn't choked to death. She was stabbed with a knife.
Perhaps you know for certain that she wasn't first strangled into unconsciousness.
You're making the whole thing up to give the impression you're clairvoyant. Unless you had something to do with her murder.
I had less to do with her murder than you had.
Why, you fraud, if you dare to...
Come in.
Perhaps you ladies don't realize it, but your voice is when you get excited.
Thank you for stopping us, Alec.
And you're keeping this young lady from her rest.
You're very considerate, Mr. Richfield. I really would like to go to bed.
Of course, I merely thought I might...
Come along, Alec. It was your idea to leave Gail alone.
something, Alec?
Oh. My pipe cleaners. I thought I left them here.
I didn't know you smoked a pipe.
Oh, didn't you?
I've always been very interested in pipes. Do you mind if I have a look at yours?
Certainly. I must have left it in my room.
Doubtlessly. Have a cigar.
Thanks.
Light?
Thanks. You're not smoking?
Not at the moment.
Uh-huh. Very good cigar.
As you should know, Alec. As always one of my comforts, even managed to get a few where you sent me.
You're forgetting that having arranged for your defense, we got you up with 5 years instead of 25.
5 years was long enough for you to accomplish your purpose, Alec. 5 years as receiver for Granger Incorporated gave you ample time to liquidate my enterprises for your own advantage.
By the time you got through milking your enterprises, there was nothing left to liquidate.
So you came over here to the island to see what you could get out of karma.
I advise you to be careful of your accusations, Leo.
You're not fooling anybody now, Alec. There's no jury here, no judge, nor will there be any witnesses.
Does that constitute a threat,
Take
Leo?
it for what it's worth, Alec. I might have let you off had you been content merely with getting me out of the way for a while. But that you put karma out of the way permanently, for that, Alec...
Keep away, Leo.
You can't escape, Alec.
Oh, can't I?
So it was you who murdered karma. I thought so. I suspected you all along, but I wanted proof. I've got that proof now, Alec. Obviously, that was the way you struck her down. A sudden thrust in the dark, without warning, without giving her the slightest opportunity of defending herself. You very stupidly used the same technique, the same knife, no doubt. So you see now, Alec, that you're not as clever as you thought you were. You see now, don't you, that you played right into my hands. You see now, Alec, you convicted yourself, Alec. You've sealed your own doom. You've signed your own death.
Very interesting, Emily. Very interesting indeed. And a little amusing.
What is?
The fact that Leo should give you the key without the means of using it.
I don't know what you mean.
You know what that key opens?
No.
Or how to get to what it opens?
No.
I thought not. But I do. So it seems to me it might be wise for us, you and I, to pool our resources, shall I say, and split proceeds.
Equally?
Share and share alike.
I'll handle the key.
As you wish. Follow me. Since you have the key, the privilege is yours, my dear Emily.
What are you doing here, Kingsley?
I was just wondering what you were doing.
Oh, I don't think it would do you any good to find out.
You all right?
I am, but how about you, Jeff? How does your head feel?
Feels as though somebody had thrown the book at it.
It was a chair.
Oh, yeah, that phony doctor. I've got to find him.
Jeff, take it easy, please.
After the way he conked me,
But he's a dangerous criminal. He has a prison record.
he's got more than that coming to him. And I think I know where to find him.
Jeff, don't. Please. For my sake.
For your sake.
Yes, Jeff. Look, come on. You'd better sit down.
But, Gail, you don't seem to understand. I caught him going through the desk. Gail, do you have any idea what he was looking for?
Well, I think I know. Mother told me once. It's something about the top center drawer. Something in it or near it that exposes a secret hiding place for valuables.
Valuables?
Uh-huh.
Well, don't you think you ought to take a look and see if we got away with anything?
I have looked. I don't know how to operate it.
Let me try.
Splitting it 50-50. What makes you think
Well, that's very generous of you, John, seeing you think that gun is loaded.
Of course it's loaded. I loaded it myself before dinner.
You don't think I trust you around me with a loaded gun, do you?
You idiot! How did you know I wasn't going to give you his half?
Oh, I know you, John. Scout, the clue Leo gave me. You're right, Alec. What we're looking for must be hidden in here.
The table. The clue that Leo gave me.
This slab here,
Yes.
John, give me a hand with this paper. Now.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's have it understood now. We share it 3 ways.
Let's make it 4 ways. Just for the sake of sociability.
What makes you imagine you're entitled to anything?
I know where the bodies are buried.
All right. Understood then. We split 4 ways. Now give me a hand.
To the box.
Wait.
The key to Gale got must be the one that opens it.
He doesn't have the sense to get it. Give it to me. I like it.
No, I can manage it.
What is it? Read it.
Yes, read it.
To whom it may concern, this represents all I ever stole from Granger Incorporated. The paper this is written on. Unfortunate investments did the rest. May I suggest you divide it equally among yourselves so that I may feel justice is done. Sincerely, Leo Granger.
I don't believe it.
I do. It's just like Leo to have the last laugh. John, look! Look at the water!
Let's get out of here. There's no door now, huh? Get that chisel, Alec. Here, let me try. Oh.
That's a trick.
Oh, Jeff, look, there.
Where?
There.
Here, you hang on. Now, hold on. Hey, I'll bet the key Leo Granger gave you opens that box.
Mother's jewelry. Jeff, wait, listen to this. Gail, darling, this is all that's left of my inheritance. When Leo got into his financial difficulties, I gave him everything else I had to try to save him. But it went with the rest, into unfortunate investments. Please don't blame him too much. He tried. But Gail, darling, leave this island as soon as you can. There's no good will ever come to anybody here. God bless you and try to be happy. Your loving mother. Poor mother. She knew.
You mean she knew what you put yourself through needlessly, Gail?
Needlessly.
Yes. Don't think I haven't seen through you. Don't think I don't know why you ran away from us all. It was your wounded ego.
Ego? But, Jeff, every place I went, people looked at me accusingly. I knew what they were thinking. They were thinking she's Leo Granger's stepdaughter, and she'll come in for her share of his loot, too.
I knew what you were thinking, Gail, but you were wrong. Dead wrong. Why, I'll bet you even thought that was the way I felt about you.
Of course.
And you thought I came out here with those cheap chiselers to grab off a hunk of loot.
Oh, I didn't know what to think, Jeff. I didn't want to, but how could I think otherwise? You came over with them.
What's that?
It's the launch coming back.
Your launch?
I recognize the motor.
How long will it take you to pack?
For what?
Well, you're carrying out your mother's wishes, aren't you? Remember, she said leave the island at once? And that's now.
No, but Jeff...
Don't argue. I'm taking you away from this place at once. Even if I have to kidnap you.
You won't have to kidnap me, Jeff.
Well, then hurry.
I'm ready.
Let's get going.
Oh, but I'll have to find Leo and tell him I'm going. He isn't in his room.
I found Leo. He has no objection to you going.
Oh, but don't you think we ought to find out if any of the others want to come with us?
I found that out, too. They're not coming with us. Not this trip. I'll send the launch back to them later. There's sun on the mainland, Gail. That's what you need, Gail, sun. More than anything else. Unless it's me.
I'll settle for both, Jeff.